Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. My name is Harry Durham. I don't really know what to say, what to start with. I've got Chris Mason on the line. I've not even wrote any questions to speak about the match play because my mind's frazzled. Chris's mind is frazzled. He was up there for the entirety of the tournament. I was lucky enough to do 2 days. Got to see the quarterfinals, get to win Price, Josh Rock, Andrew Gilding, and Luke Littler as well. Chris Mason, I just want to start it off, mate, by saying, I'm not going to say, are you rested or you recovered, because no one can rest and recover for Blackpool. But, mate, let's just go straight into it, right? You've played at Blackpool, right? You know what it means to play at the Winter Gardens. Where does 2025 really rank in the best match plays that we've ever seen?
Well, it becomes a bit of a cliche, doesn't it? Like you keep saying, oh, every year it gets better and better, but I can't remember a better one. I certainly can't remember a better semi-finals night. It was just remarkable. And the players just continue to deliver as their schedule gets heavier and heavier, and the demands on them are more and more. And from a media point of view, we expect so much from them, and they just deliver every time. It was right from the off. We lost 7 seeds. We lost 4 seeds in one session, which is unheard of. But that's what happens when you put together the top 16 in the world and the best current 16 in terms of form. That's what you're going to get, which is why the match play always delivered. We should call it the posting.
I mean, the world is the world, don't get me wrong. But there's something just so, how can I word this, so special about the match play, because it is really the 32 best players on the planet, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing compares. Not. I mean, the world's is great, but it's for different reasons. The UK is fascinating. The UK Open is fascinating because of the draw. The Grand Prix is special because of the double star and its history. But the match play and the type of fans you get there, and the building, the history, it just ticks every box. It was my favorite place to play by a mile. There was no like I was lucky enough to play in 3 different venues for 3 different world championships, and it's in the Lakeside special because again of its history, but nothing gets close to the atmosphere of the World Match Play in the Winter Gardens. It's just it even now I get goosebumps going in there, and I'm going there to, well, I call it work. It's not really work. Is it? If you love your job, you never work. Um, but yeah, it's just remarkable. The final itself, the 5-0 one way, then Littler responded with a session of 5-0 of his own. And then they went at it how I expected the match to really go from the off. A lot of people felt like this was going to be a steamroller job. Listen, when James Wade has a day off in between sessions, he's a dangerous man.
I mean, I woke up this morning, and with me being a presenter, reporter, journalist, I hate getting into this position where, Luke Little has won another major now. He's done the so-called Triple Crown. What more is there actually to speak about him, Mace? Seriously. I mean, the only thing that I could actually put it down to is sheer resilience. I mean, going 5 down in 3 separate games. So you had the final against Wadey. You went 5 down against Josh. And then we're forgetting about Jermaine Wattermainer at the same time as well. Yeah, 7-2 down, the 5 margin. And then he had the audacity, because it could work in 2 ways, of what was it? Was it 7-3 when he bought it back and he said, I'm staying? You have to have massive nuts to have self-belief like that you're going to do it. And he went and did it, Mace.
Yeah, well,
but it's at this point, gone.
He's been doing it since he was sort of 12, 13 years of age at senior level, at JDC level. He has he has so much self-belief. Last year, he just rocked up and sort of walked in as if it was any other tournament. This year, he spent a day sort of just mooching about, because every venue is different. It's like, where'd you go at your toilet break? Where's the practice boards? Where'd you go pre-match? Where'd you go, excuse me, post-match? And the heat is, again, that's another factor. It's like no other venue. But this year he was up on the balcony and he was sat watching and he watched for hours. And then I get the whisper, oh, he's been putting some graft in because, listen, he's that talented and he's that laid back. Now, I've seen him a few times pre-match, and you would think he was going out for a coffee. But he's just so chilled, and he's got every right to have that much belief because he's proven, isn't he? It's no longer where we're sort of going, oh, wait to see this kid. It's not like a Nico Springer type scenario. We're going, it was inevitable that he was, well, not inevitable because the standard's so high, but that's even more props to him because he's able to navigate around situations that players like Phil Taylor, Eric Bristow, John Lowe, um, Michael Van Gerwen, Luke Humphries, they're experienced enough to navigate those situations where this kid's still only sort of 18 months in, isn't he? 19 months in. It is quite remarkable, but a special word for Wadey. I mean, me and Wade have similar issues, and I know it affected not just my life but my career. I played him on his debut in 2006, 19 years ago. Gave him my ever defeat at the match play, and he's still contending for a World Matchplay title. He And I understand why he gripes that he doesn't get enough credit because he doesn't. Like, just getting through life is hard enough. Never mind um, the toils and turmoil of being a professional sportsman. He is remarkable, literally unbelievable.
And it's the consistency as well at the same time over that time period. Someone put a picture on Twitter that I saw. If you think about how much Peter Wright chops and changes with his equipment, James Wade has been using the same unicorn equipment, but maybe swapping in a couple of flights. So I know he likes the good Union Jack on the flights and swaps it out with some other bits and pieces. James Wade has used the same equipment for the last 20 years. I mean, no matter what level of darts player that you are, you're always told, and you'd say this as well, you find your pair and you stick with them. If you chop and change all the time, it's going to ruin your flow and your rhythm. James Wade is stuck with that set of unicorn darts for so long, and it's paid dividends now. And even though he didn't win, and he lost 6, 7 World Match Play finals, but at the same time, when you speak about him going unnoticed, do you think now that he's probably going to get another call up for the Premier League?
I would hope so. I mean, prior to the match play, he was right up there in terms of top 8 in sort of the predicted rankings, the all the metrics. He won a Pro Tour about a month ago. Yeah, he's fabulous and fascinating. I I love the complexity of James Wade, and it was great to see all the fans on his side this week as well. That's probably the most support I can remember ever getting, but that is another uniqueness of the match play. They're there for the darts and a good time, but the darts does take precedence. And yeah, I think James doesn't like changes, and that's normal with his specific sort of mental health issues. For James, it's all about what he knows. He doesn't deviate in his style either or his counting. Everyone sort of moved on with their counting. Nah, James Wade, I'll keep it simple. It served me well, and yeah, God bless him. I'm a massive friend of James, but a huge fan. Just because I know what he has to deal with and go through on a daily basis, just living a normal life. Yeah, great story. The whole thing would have been lovely to see James win it. He was the youngest winner, and now he's sort of lost that title to the youngest winner. And it was fascinating. I was talking to someone yesterday about it. Eric Bristow and James became fabulous friends quite late on. in James's career. Um, it'd be almost similar, I think, with what he will do with Littler. I think he'll sort of take him under his arm, and he was in the practice with him practice room with him semi-finals night. He was like, "Come on, get up, let's have a practice." And yeah, and that's lovely because that it's important that and it is a massive generational gap. They're both generational greats already. One at 40 odd, the other one at 18 is quite bizarre. But I can't think of another sport that really gives you that. Maybe snooker, where you think of the class of '92 and they're with Mark Williams especially, and um, yeah, it's probably snooker the only time you'll really have that huge gap. Maybe golf, when Tiger was tearing it up as a youngster. But it's just the sport is in such a fabulous place, and you walk. Well, you would know. You've been around it, and you see all the sort of senior people within Matchroom and PDC, and all week they were just glowing. And then we had the JDC girls final. Incredible. Standard, incredible. Disappointed they didn't put that on between the semi-final and the final of the women's. And then another great story, the sort of one thing missing from Lisa's resume, the women's World Matchplay, and she pops up and gets that, although a little bit fortunate, has to be said.
Yeah, but you need that fortune, Mace. Come on now. A record that you didn't mention, which put a good smile on my face, and I'm actually seeing this man tomorrow, is Adrian Lewis. Luke Littler actually beat his 180 record, and Adrian Lewis was brought into conversations during the week as well, because obviously Gary Anderson doesn't like it when the players are wearing their earphones, headphones, and they're boring on their phones. I mean, it's all part of a different generation, so I'm very excited to see what Adrian Lewis's takeaway is going to be from that. I'm not going to ask AD if he's coming back, because I mean AD's got his own reasons and personal reasons for not being on the Oki, so we respect that, and I'm not going to be asking him stupid questions like when are you coming back to darts, because I'm not looking for a scoop or a story out of AD. I was thinking, like, last night, obviously we think about natural players. Is obviously Taylor won. Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson has his story of picking up 3 darts, and then in his second throw he hit a 180. I don't really know the truth about that, or if that was a fantasy in which Gary lived up in Scotland. Do we actually think that Luke Littler, and I always try and expand these questions because I don't want to say, because we all know how special Luke Littler is, and that's someone that's not doing their research, because he's a multi-time major winner, for goodness sake. Is he the best natural darts player that you've seen potentially in your lifetime, given the span of how everything has worked out in these last 19 months and winning all these majors?
I think some people are born with a certain ability, maybe a superior hand-eye coordination, but my favorite phrase, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And he has applied himself. It's not anything. If a kid has an interest in something, they will excel. They just will, because I was the same. I literally, the only time I wasn't playing darts was when I was at school, and that wasn't very often. It got to a stage that the only way they get me in school was if they put a dartboard in a common room, and then I would go. Outside of that, I just wasn't interested. I was bunking off and going down to snooker hall when my sister was the manager, and they had a dartboard down there, and that was it. That was it. And if you see some of the pictures that Luke's mum puts up, and videos when he was 3 years of age, where even in a nappy throwing with a dart on a chair, and that's what it takes. No one picks up a set of darts and becomes world champion. It's graft. And even, listen, as talented as Gary is, you can tell by his game when he's grafting and when he's not. And Luke's been guilty of that this year. There's been some off-color performances that sort of make you go, and I thought I'd have a little dig, and I find out, well, he's not really been playing much. He's been busy doing other stuff, which he's entitled to do. He owes darts nothing, and darts owes him nothing. It all comes down to a mutual relationship where you both have to work hard for it to be a success. And I mean, he is just remarkable, as is Adrian Lewis, and he is coming back because he's playing pairs with
He's playing
different
Modus.
pairs. And hey, and what a lovely guy to be playing pairs with in your sort of first televised game back. Yeah, I'm chuffed to bits to see AD back. He's another guy I've got all the time in the world for. Incredible talent, genuine, lovely guy. And we had some cracking games back in the day. My highest ever average on TV was against AD.
Yeah, AD, I mean, I love him to bits whenever I get the chance to spend time with him. But yeah, Modus, that's where Adrian Lewis will be returning. I mean, yeah, no questions about going back to Q score or anything. Just let AD do what Adrian wants to do. Chris, just to finish off, mate, something that you said about, obviously, we knew that Luke Littler was at the venue, he sat on the balcony watching some of the play. I mean, he's gone on record to say that he doesn't practice a lot, but how, I know obviously it's not the PDC order of merit anymore, it's the rankings, the standings, whatever it is now. That I need to say it carefully, otherwise I'll probably be put in darting jail, which obviously dart in jail, which was a good comment on I think I was actually on Sky. Oh my god, it was on Sky last night, so I shouldn't mention Sky, sorry for the plug. How scared should the rest of the players be with Luke Littler if he is actually going to be putting those hours in now?
I think that's probably the only difference between him maybe dominating. I don't think anybody will dominate per se like we've seen in years gone by, but I think he has the talent, the ability, the mental strength, because the mental strength he showed this week was above and beyond. He's just so special, and he's a joy to have around. He's humble. He's couldn't be any more ordinary. He's just a normal 18-year-old lad who happens to be one of the most incredible dart players we've ever seen. I don't think anybody fears anybody in darts anymore, which is why I think we see so many shocks, or as people like to sort of make it dramatic. Nothing's changed. He's just now the youngest ever World Matchplay champion, and he's just going to go on this course of ticking off tournaments, and then we'll see where his ambition is, because his ambition right now is just to win everything once, and he's going to do that.
Mace, I said that was a final question, but I've actually got one more because I forgot about one man who I actually spent a little bit of time with up in Blackpool. The man, his name is Josh Rock. I've actually had I've interviewed Josh a couple of times just over Riverside or Zoom, like we're speaking now, and we had a little chat in the Village Hotel. I didn't want to bother him because it was ahead of the game with Gezi, and me and my brother were having a little throw in the Village Hotel, and all of a sudden Josh just comes up and goes, "Can you just chuck your darts, Harry?" And then this is hours before he's playing Gezi, and I'm just like, oh my god, not if this is the fears that go through someone like me, my head is just if Josh somehow picks up my dart and then all of a sudden gets dartitis or does his elbow or something like that. I was speaking to Jim, one of his managers, and I was like, Jim, if anything happens here, mate, or if he gets demolished by Gezi and doesn't even pick up a single leg, this isn't my fault. This isn't my fault. I've got Northern Irish family, for goodness sake. I can't be stopped getting into Belfast Airport to go and see family. What an unbelievable journey Josh Rock had. I mean, he's got it all. He's a lovely kid. I mean, I was speaking to Scott Williams and I was like, you know what? I'm scared to go and speak to Josh because I don't want to bother him. And he's like, he is just a normal kid from Ballymena. Yep. And, you know, to just be chilling in the hotel and then eating his food like any normal person, and then just comes up to you and asks you for a little chuck. I mean, mate, the 164, I say that the two best shots that I think we've seen in darts this year is the 171, which I always gone about in the World Cup by Josh Rock. And I think that 164 to knock out Gezi of the World Matchplay is up there as well. The sky is the limit. He said he wanted to be right up there with Littler at the start of the year. I mean, for what he's done already, I mean, the Premier League is not the be or end all for a lot of fans and a lot of players as well. Josh Rock, Matt Porter, make it happen, please.
Yeah,
That's all I ask.
I think he's in with a great shout. His now manager, Rat, was looked after me for years and years and years. So I got a good relationship with Josh. And after he lost, I actually spent about 3 hours with him back at the village. And listen, he was rightly gutted, but also rightly proud of his achievements. And I think he's nailed on to be in the Premier League. He's young, he's quick, he hits lots of 180s, he goes for his shots. He's great with people, great to interview. He ticks every box for me. And I I remember being down at mine end when he won the World Youth. And even then I looked at him and I thought, my God, this guy's good. Like literally ridiculously good. I think there was too much expectation and too much pressure, sort of year one, year two. But he's matured. He's got a family. He's married. Super happy, making a few quid. And ironically comes from a place where one of my best friends comes from, Jeff Wiley, who I travelled with for years and years. So we got plenty in common, and we got lots of mutual friends. And he's actually gonna be coming down above at some point for just a normal weekend off where he can just sort of just chill and watch a bit of sport on the TV, and I'll show him the scenes and the sights of Ilkeston.
That poor boy, man.
He's a wonderful fella with a huge future ahead of him. And listen, sky's the limit, I think, with Josh Rock. He's proved that this week. Produced some remarkable darts. Was involved in the best leg ever. And I don't know what them lot are going on about because there was no missed darts in this one. It was clean throughout.
Yeah, I mean, Michael versus Michael, it was good because it was the height of the final and, you know, what it meant at the same time, Alexandra Palace. But, you know, Josh Rock averaging 180 was just absolutely absurd. Mate, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go, mate. Back to normality, mate. And we do it all again next year up in Blackpool. But we've got so much more to come. And that's why darts is so special. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember, if you're new here, do us a massive solid. Subscribe to the channel just down below. Mason, the team, absolutely smashed it up in Blackpool. They bought us. They didn't buy us. They brung in 2,000 new subscribers. That's just how powerful this channel is. And do you know what? I'm not saying this is an arrogance thing. We will be number one. We will. Ladies and gentlemen, please like and subscribe just down below.